Hello, everyone. Hey, John. I'm going to go through this older Alex Toth story. The writer is Richard Myers. What the hell, man? I guess your boy Zach went back in time, took out the C. It's a story by Richard Myers, which is funny. And this was not in the 1990 New York. This was in the 70s, I believe, but they projected, I guess, 20 years into the future. Just want to go through this little this short story drawn by Alex Toth, and it looks fantastic. This is I believe it's one of his. I don't know if it's one of his eerie comics or creepy, because I don't remember seeing this in the actual collection of them all. Hail, Jimmy! How's it going, guys? As I mentioned, I cracked 17,000 on a PIGMAN on my PIGMAN campaign. I got 262 backers now, which is fantastic. Thank you very much, guys. I really, really appreciate it. And if you're on the fence, check it out. Check out the preview. Check out the video. Take a look at it. And also some blurbs I think are worth mentioning as well, from Jim Shooter to Chuck Dixon to Daniel Greenfield, even Leonard Peikoff liked Pigman. So check it out. I'm going to clearly pitch at a certain point, but I just want to go through this short story by Alex Toth. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it. And also check out my interview with Johnny Scab on his YouTube channel. It was fun. About an hour. Had a good back and forth. Interesting questions. Talked a little more about things that maybe I don't talk about on my own channel, or other movies, some of my favorite movies, music, and so on, and my background and such. So it was fun. Thanks, Johnny. All right. So here we go. It's called A Job Well Done, a story by Richard Myers. Crash, Alex Toth. Drawing. Not just drawing, penciled, inked, lettered, shaded. So it says here, New York City, 1990. Knock, knock. Bam, bam. Crash. Good God. This guy says, look at that great shadow. That's a great shadow right there. This is Landers over on West 64th. I'm investigating that signal 5B or 58. Got a meat wagon over here. I've got 3 stiffs overdosed on arsenic. He's like, Jesus, look at them. This is the 4th pill party I've hit this week. Stupid kids. Don't they have anything better to do than trip out? Well, there's nothing more I can do here. Wagon's here by now. Meat wagon, they call it. God damn it. I guess they got to become somewhat desensitized at some point, with the horrors they see. Cops. Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah. Check it out when you can. It's on Johnny's channel. Okay. So yeah, he goes, Jesus, look at them. This is the 4th pill party I had this week, stupid kids. Well, there's nothing more I can do here. Wagon's here by now. Might as well meet him and get back to the station house. Very interesting, this whole layout here, guys. No real panels here. Complete blending of one image to another. Nothing solid in terms of the panel borders. Eisner did this at times as well, Will Eisner. He was very, very innovative in his comic work as well, graphic novels. This is reminiscent of that. And then this, I guess the meat wagon comes. What a name. What have you got, Jeff? 3 terminal Scenics on floor. Scenics or Scenics? On floor 25. Clean it up. Dopey kids never learn, do they? No, guess not. Yeah, that's terrible. So it says, soon at precinct headquarters. He's right. First it was booze, then pot, LSD, and heroin. Now this stuff, is life so god-awful for them that they'll take it to escape? Or is it that they just can't face the responsibility of working to improve their world? Here we have more clear cut panel borders, at least here up on top. I want to get a bigger shot here for you guys. Here and here. Bzz, click, gets in there. Hey, Jeff, this fat guy with a big scar up his mouth to his face, to his temple. How's my ex-partner doing? Hi, Raj. Hi, Raj. Okay, I guess. Excuse me, sorry. And again, this is Toth experimenting again with word balloons, right? No word balloons, just a line to the text. You saw him do the old things before that I mentioned, where it's a word balloon with the pointer inside the word balloon. Comic books and cahoots. Toth's storytelling is masterful. It really is. I mean, he's a master comic book artist. And even in this form, guys, where it's a little more unconventional in terms of the panel borders and whatnot, and it's still rock solid. You still understand what's going on. You know, it's clear as hell. Phenomenal. And these black little lines here, look at this, to suggest a kind of background. Incredible, beautiful. And the grays are beautiful, incredibly placed. Okay, so they're all bald, all these cops. It's interesting, the aesthetic that Toth chose, or the writer did. I'm not sure. But, you know, again, Toth penciled, inked, lettered, and gray washed. A Man Called Plush, expressive faces as hell. I love it. I mean, it's true, man. Look at this, guys. Look at that guy there. He looks a little bugged. Look at this. Look at that. My God. If you just popped in, I just want to show the last page also. If you just popped in. Okay. Yeah, this one. Here's the opening. It's called A Job Well Done. Great shadow right there, guys. Great shadow. I love that. So damn strong. You got these stupid ass kids here overdosing on this damn drug. I know it's fictional, but you know, it does happen in real life. So that's just what. Anyway, so how's my ex-partner doing? Hi, Raj. Okay, I guess. I hear you've been having trouble lately. Conscience? Because I'm just tired of cleaning Senec's corpses off the streets is all. I think that's how you pronounce it, Senex. What? Are you nuts? No reports to write, nobody to bust. Go easy, guy. You take things too seriously. Ha ha ha. A cynical slob. You know, this guy sees these young girls who got killed themselves doing these drugs, and this guy's like, so what? Big shit. So then, I guess his superior, well, Landers, you're looking rather dour. He goes, dour? Hell. Listen, Austin. He goes, when do I stop hauling Senate garbage and start doing my job, busting these damn pushers? We know who's supplying the arsenic to the kids. When are we going to face reality and nail them? He goes, reality? Nail them? Man, let me tell you about reality. When the underworld stops paying graft on the arsenic sales in this city, that's when we'll nail them. So wake up to the facts as they really are. Jesus Christ. This isn't just cops and robbers anymore, Jeff. So until you get the word from me, lay off. Unbelievable. And again, you don't need to know that that right here is what his superior is saying. There's no pointer there. There's nothing. You just know because of the continuation. And again, I love it. I love these little pointers here. Very, very different. And here we go again with some incredible art. And again, a little more differentiation here between the panel borders, a little more clarity as opposed to the first one. So then Landers comes home. Soon at Landers' city apartment. Bzz, click. I'm home, Pat. Man, I can't believe this day. Jeff, I've got something to tell you. What is it, Pat? What's wrong? She's crying, his wife. These, oh my God. Where did you find them? Answer me, Pat. Where'd you find them? Jeff, please. Mom found the pills in my room, Dad. Todd, are you crazy? Do you know what these pills do to you? They kill you. Jeff, don't. Smacked his Jesus-looking boy. Jeff, Todd he isn't responsible for. Damn right he's not. But I know who is, and I'm going to rip him up. Jeff! Slam. So he goes out to get the guys, and the guy told him to back off, his boss, Austin. But to do so, Landers needs information, and to get it, he seeks out the city's tipsters as he pleads, cajoles, coerces until... Look at that. That's a really strong image right there of Landers with Mos in darkness. Look at his faces, man. Look at this. Look at the hair on that guy. I mean, look at that forehead. Look at that guy. Looking askance. And again, the shadow is fantastic on the face. Look at the naturalistic lines on that hand. That strong shot right there. Boom. The foreshortening is great. Towards us, a bigger hand, unlike some people draw today, like Kane and White. It was like, what the hell? He drew those hands. We know if your hands are above, they don't have to be monstrous, but god damn it, they got to be bigger. If they're in front of you, I mean, they got to be somewhat bigger. So here we go. It's only a few pages, but look at this layout here, guys. Look at this layout. And look at that shadow. Look at that. Hitting the ground, boom, going back up, hitting the wall. I love it. It's so damn good. So, hey, Happy's Funhouse. How's it going? Man, call plush. Man, this work is clean. It is. And it's not busy. It has just the right amount of authenticity, detail, shadows, great balance of that. And nothing is set in stone. There's no guide that he had for this story. He went off grid completely. Look at these shots here, angled panels, all going towards the center with that center shot there. You Jeff Landers? Yeah, why? I hear you've been asking around. First, what's in it for me? How much you paying? Is this enough? Swack. Huh. And this, pow. Plus interest if you don't tell it straight. We got a deal? That's awesome. You're meeting with someone soon. His name is Weiss. I want to know where and when and where. Okay. And then just like that, man, he's targeted the guy. He's like, at the corner of 45th and 8th at midnight. All right, you keep that appointment at midnight. When the time comes, I'll kapow! The guy gets shot right in the head. What? Too late. Someone didn't want you talking. Even this shot right here, guys. Beautiful. That's the pole right there in place. That panel border is in place of the pole of the street name. It's awesome. A man called Plush says, I love how a collage of imagery is used to signify passing of time when Jeff interrogates people. Absolutely, it's beautiful. It's so damn good. Just the faces also, the expressions, the desperation of these people. It's a great shot, great shadow. I think there's only a couple more pages here. Okay, look at these action scenes here. Great setup. So this is Landers. He goes, so this is the meeting place. Formidable. They must have millions in arsenic pills stashed away here. Whoever wasted that Seneca didn't want me poking around. Well, that's tough, because the army couldn't keep me out of here. Jumps down, look at that. That's a nice move also. Very, very elegant. Soon, inside, the search begins. Crack that glass, open that door, got in, looking in the closets, got it. In a painted cognac bottle yet. Jiggle, 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 click. What? Sorry, pal. No chit-chat time now. Guy pulls a knife on him. Another guy behind him. He's got the goods here. And then he smashed up against the guy. He goes, take a pill, pusher. Want some more? Like one for every kid you sold them to? Crack. Same goes for you, black belt. Ha! Hi! Crunch. That's great, man. Look at that. This whole page here takes the guy, hits the first guy. The other guy, the Kung Fu Master, I guess, wannabe, tries to kick him, and that's just what economy. That corner of that panel, of that page, just does it right there. Crashes his skull. That's awesome. And then, hello out there. How's it going? Mikey Getz, that's a great page. I got to pick up some Alex Toth. Yeah, man, he's a master. To me, he's the master. The finest, the most innovative artist, the guy who gave a damn more than anyone. And again, he wasn't jobbing it month in, month out. He took his sweet time. He chose his comics. He didn't do monthlies, I think, for a long time. Maybe he did for a little while, but not that long. He did specialty stuff, stories, short stories, his own graphic novel, Bravo for Adventure. 70s and 80s, I think that was his final big deal story where he wrote, penciled, inked, lettered. And check this out. So that door right there has 2 panels and a caption. Talk about economy. Kicks in the door. Look at that. So he goes, later back at the station, smash! Kicks the door in. Anyone want to help me book this old dude? You stupid damn cop. I'll be out of here in 5 minutes. Over my dead body, mister. Get in there, punk. Outside the station, a car pulls up, stops. In it, 2 men wait with deadly intent. Look at these overlapping panels here with no panel borders, but you know it's moving from here to there to there. He goes, all right, Landers, what are you trying to prove? Prove? Nothing, Captain. Just doing my job. If you think you've accomplished something, forget it. Forget it. Tell a few hundred Senex mothers their kids are dead, and let's see you forget it, Austin. You live with that. I can't. Hey, Jeff, you out of your mind or what? Walks out the door in a huff. And then here's the final page. God damn it. Thanks, Mikey. Thanks for these reviews, Bosh. I enjoy the shit out of them. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I love this stuff. It's a gold mine. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there, guys, that I discovered just through searching again and again and again. And these things are more or less off the grid. No one really talks about them as much anymore, which is unfortunate. But hey, I'm gonna talk about them here. So here he is, Landers. He goes, could be, but I'm doing what I'm paid to do. And besides, I enjoy a job well done. Slam. And a car moves, a gun's cocked. Well, that's one more pusher off the street. Let the world dig its grave. I'm going to do what's right for me. Yep. Ow, ow. Uh-oh, nearly 6 a.m. I almost forgot. It's time to pick up our day's water ration at the center. Almost there. Now. Kapow, pow, 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 pow. I drive by. Jeff Landers, New York City police officer, crumples to the pavement and lies still in front of the city water allotment center. Soon, when citizens start arriving for the daily dole in this world of tomorrow, they'll see his prone, bullet-riddled body laying there, ponder it for a moment about who he was, and then go about their business. Ironic tribute to a man and a job well done. Even this right here, guys, he made the most of this. The final shot again. He used the bottom of the panel here, and he has a car. The killer car is driving away. And boom, end. Just strong stuff, man. Beautifully drawn. Rock solid. Everything about it. The movement, the naturalness, the awkwardness of being shot in the back. Hail Alpha Channel. How's it going? All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. I'm going to pitch Pigman. You guys have got any questions again? We could always do some impromptu AMA. Ask me anything. I don't answer personal questions. If you know, I just don't do that. I've discussed what would be considered personal, but that's just my backstory in terms of because of my work, my Muslim background and such. But outside of that, no. In terms of family, friends, location, clearly I don't do that. And I know some people will still try to ask that, but yeah, comic books and who says the dystopian 1990s is wonderfully retro. Yeah, it is so funny. They were projecting. I believe this was probably in the 70s. That's what it looks like. And one thing about Alex Toth, guys, he got better and better and better and better. We all talk about Byrne, right? John Byrne, his X-Men. To me, it's untouchable. It's as good as it gets. It's beautiful. Those early issues that inked by Terry Austin, he was never quite as good as that. He just wasn't. Miller, very, very strong in Daredevil. Sin City also very, very strong. At least the first handful. Outside of that, not really. Toth now. He started with the Green Lantern, you know, the early one. Alan, what was his name? With the green cape. Alan Scott? Is that right, guys? Or if you could just correct me on that. Who they turned gay, after the fact. 7 years of being straight, all of a sudden he's gay. Pathetic. But just make a gay character. Mikey says, I tried inking your action background. It's a lot harder than it looks, LOL. What action background are you talking about, Mikey? But yeah, Toth got better and better and better. This is him in his 50s or 60s, 70s or 80s. He got better and better and better. Alan Scott, excellent, thank you. Yeah, so Toth began there for DC. I don't know if he did it monthly for a little bit. He did. And he did some westerns, and he did Paul Revere, a story, which is awesome, beautifully drawn. He did history stuff, historical comics. Space Ghost, designed the character, designed a lot of the Hanna-Barbera drawings. The Super Friends, he designed all those, and so on and so on. But, his comic book work, it got better, always got better and better. That's amazing. It's so rare, such a rare thing. Mikey Getz says, when you do sketches, the lines you do like the new Pigman cover. Okay. Very, very cool, Mikey. I'd like to see them when you can, just out of curiosity. Let me pull up. Let me pull up, like, Air July. You got to pull up, yo. It's not acting up. This website's acting up for some reason. I don't know why, but it is acting up. Yeah, I cracked 17,000. I think early this morning. I think it was even Art. Art, who's on here, who just informed me. I didn't even know. Pretty damn cool. Art Haida. He's a regular here also. Thanks, beauty guys. And here's my Pigman campaign. Definitely wanna pitch it. If you guys get bored of it, sorry. This is it's part of my job here. Writing and drawing Pigman and promoting it as well. And of course, discussing great art like Toth. Yeah, I was buffering, definitely. I think I'm okay now. But thanks, Spirit, guys. Always appreciate it. By the way, I got another. Your account has been disabled from Google, so it affects my YouTube channel and all that as well, which really sucks, guys. Happens way too often. It seems like every month now. It's like, what the hell, guys? And I was able to go, back, but one day I might not be able to. So I just hate it. I really do. Alpha Channel says, I've been thinking about the last stream and the Sal Buscema article you posted. Sal Buscema article? I'm not sure about that, Alpha Channel. It was the Alex Toth with all of the tips. I suspect modern illustrators don't read novels at all, and that has led to the decline in modern comics most of all. If you could elaborate, Al Pacino, because while I like, I call him Dirty Sal. It's so funny, Sal Buscema. It's like he's a dirty version of his brother, and he made really good, like, thug faces and monster faces. He was really good in that, Sal, and he was really good for the Hulk. I didn't like when he inked it. I liked when Jerry Toleic, I believe. I went Happy's Funhouse. I went to my account, my other account. I had to put in my number, and then I don't get text from Google. I don't, and I got a phone call for a code that they give. And that's the only way. Outside of that, I cannot get back. And it happened 3 times recently in the last few months. I hate it because it makes me feel insecure about my position here, about my standing on my own channel, and my own email. It's like, and for what reason? It's never any reason given, ever. It's just, hey, your account is now disabled. It looks like it was being used in a way that violated Google's policies. Bullshit. Bullshit. I don't do anything. I post my stuff. If they consider that, that's wrong. Post mama cartoons. All right, then be explicit about it. Also, one thing, guys, whenever people say, you used to tell me over the years, they say, hey, what do they say? They say, hey, look, man, people have a right to remove anyone they want. Yeah. But when these same people smear you as a racist, as hateful, as violent, that crosses the line. They can do away with me on any of these platforms. They have the right to do that, yes. But do not ever say it's because he was violent and racist. That's a complete lie. So again, they say, for any reason, and I believe in that. Also, I think for any reason, any kind of person at a store or any kind of website has the right to knock you off for whatever reason they want. But do not do that as a goddamn smear, because that's when you're looking for trouble. That's when you're looking for trouble. To be sued flat out because you're smearing someone's reputation here. You're saying on the grounds of these falsehoods that's why you got rid of them, which is a complete lie for the bulk of people. I mean, sometimes they're flat out racist and violent, Muslim terrorists who threaten online. I'm going to cut your head off and stuff. Yes, they should be wiped out. Absolutely, they have no right to be in civilized society at all. But yeah, so when they do that and then they smear you, absolutely not. That crosses the line. They have the right to knock you out. They don't have the right to, on the way out, to say that guy is violent and he's a racist. No. Mikey says, everyone back Pigman. I love it. Thank you very much, Mikey. Going to make sure the comic's good before getting a Pigman logo tattoo, though. Hilarious. Someone actually got a Pigman tattoo. Pretty damn cool. I mean, that's I think a bragging point. I love it. But yeah, don't get it unless you really love it. Because but I do think, guys, I do think when you actually read the comic, apart from what I'm saying, apart from what you've seen when you read the comic and look at it, I think you guys cannot wait to get to issue 2. I believe that. I made it like that for myself. I couldn't wait to get to issue 2 after issue 1 personally, and so on. So thanks. And again, I'm at 262 backers. Thank you very much. Just crossed 17,000. Thank you very much. And here we go. Got to keep moving. It keeps marching on. I'm going to end the campaign. I'm going to start fulfilling orders at the end of July. I had it listed as July 31st. I'm going to start that. So I don't know exactly when I'm going to stop officially. I might even stop early July because it does take that long for my printer to print. And also I have a few different things to take care of, some cards and stickers, and it'll be a big print order for my printer. But they don't, I could do a lightning fast print order as well. I can do that. And of course, get the proofs, make sure everything is right before they send it. But there's still a few months, guys, but I wouldn't wait necessarily. I mean, you know, there's no need. Um, if you guys support it now, I would appreciate it because it gives me a little more incentive, a little more fuel to get to issue 2, and so on and so on. Um, let's see. How do you get your Alpha Channel says, wasn't there an article on X about the Marvel method? I'm trying to think, Alpha Channel. Did I post something about that? Because I don't think I would have posted something about Sal Buscema regarding Marvel method and drawing. I don't know. I know it was Toth. There was a double page sheet that he had written, handwritten, about tips about comics. But if you could just, I don't know, link here or message me about what you're referring to, and I can, I'll be on the lookout for it on X if you're on X, and I'll look and confirm it for me because I do want to know. I do want to know. Alpha Channel says that if they didn't have double standards, they would have no standards at all. Indeed. Alpha Channel, a tattoo, that's commitment. It really is. It's crazy. And the details are that he just loved the concept of Pigman, the whole spirit of it. He didn't read Pigman. I was like, what? So I said, I got to send you my comics and my books. He goes, okay. I mean, that's crazy to me, but he just loved the in-your-face aspect of Pigman. And I think I have that going for me in that sense because, when John talked up Pigman, it was not because he read it. It's because he liked the spirit of it. When he says most important comic in Comicsgate, what he's saying is, there are millions of people, if not a billion people, who don't want this out there. And I'm not just talking about Muslims. I'm talking about leftists. I'm talking about even idiots on the right who want to respect Islam no matter what. Respect it to the death. Sick but true. Mikey says I'd look good next to my Superman logo tat. Very, very cool. Yeah, I never got tattoos. I never got into it, but there was at one point I did consider a joint tattoo between me and someone. It would have been pretty cool. But that's the only time I ever considered it. Okay, yeah, Alpha Channel. You just shared the thing. That's the Toth one. That's the Alex Toth. That's not Sal Buscema. Sal Buscema, while he was a serviceable artist at times, sometimes better than other times, I liked the close to 300, 295 and on to issue 300 of the Hulk. That was strong. And even the ones that followed, until Mike Mignola took over. That was the best, I think, Sal Buscema to me. It was more natural. It wasn't as stiff as usual. Spider-Man, I don't really like. I liked his Hulk. I like the bestial Hulk the best, though. Yeah. You just repost it and liked it. So that's the Alex Toth. And I have the sheet on there. Right. Correct. You can just copy it, and put it on your wall. I would recommend that. These are great pointers. And as Toth says, things that I forget myself, Comic Books and Cooch says, mailing aid always the tip of the spear. And he recognized dangerous art. Yeah, I showed my campaign for the first time on Kings months ago. And I remember some of the Kings, because we like joke around a lot here and there. And they were just saying something like off the, basically, where do you live, Bosh? I think Billy Tucci, Billy asked me. And I was like, I said, I live in the Kaaba. And John just cut off everyone and said, this is the most important comic in Comicsgate. And I wasn't even taken aback. And Ethan says, why is that, John? He goes, because this guy's life is at stake. This is things that don't want to be seen out there. And then he bought the original art, Pigman, The Vow, which is one of the covers that I have here. This cover, he bought the original art for this one. even though for this one I brought it closer, the image, because his is a wide image as well. But let me go here. Happy is fun. What was the design for the tattoo? It was something to do with someone else. Part I'd have part of it, she'd have part of it, and it's something to consider. And again, I don't talk about my private stuff. But here I am talking a little about it, but it was something that I did consider, part and part. One would have to be. I get one part, she gets one part, but that's all I'll say. Alpha Channel says, point being, those artists read short stories and novels, which I think would have made them better storytellers. Today's artists only watch TV. Not saying, I see. You're absolutely right about that, by the way. If you're not a voracious reader, you can't be a goddamn writer. And I mean that. And I mean a good one. You can be a writer, what passes for writing today, that is, which is shit. But there comes a time where, if you're not reading your ass off, it's like, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? What's the point? It's like, you want to write, you better read. You want to write, you better write. I mean, as a habit, as a daily thing, even if it's just a few paragraphs of a short story to get you moving a little. I wrote so many like short little takes of stories that will never see the light of day. It was for myself, little exercises where I said, okay, like 1 + 1 = 2 type of story. Like, okay, this happens, and so on and so on. And that's the resolution and so on. That's important to do. And then of course you get far more, it's far more than that, clearly. But that's the point. It's like, you gotta be able to understand story. You have to understand it. And if you don't, you're gonna have shit stories out there. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna try to polish up a turd by getting artists who look professional to carry your lack of a story. And that's what I think Eric July has done, at least with his comics. He got guys that he could afford, first of all. He didn't want to spend on the King's artists. He didn't want to do that. He didn't want to get real, well-known artists, guys who have a reputation. He just wanted someone who was relatively affordable because he's a cheap guy. He wants to make money. He doesn't want to spend money. And then people say, well, he spends a lot here. I guess, but then why did he pick Cliff Richards? I mean, who's he in terms of what's going on today? Nothing. He did that trans comic also a little while back. He'll do anything. In other words, he'll do anything. Mikey says, to have you fun. If you're asking me, the logo on the shirt, I think it's iconic like Superman. Yeah, I mean, look, it's not. I mean, Superman is the most iconic, hands down, of all in terms of logos. I mean, it's the standard, and it changed over the years, clearly. But here, it's to me, it's. I had my initial one. It said jihad it on Pigman's chest. I mean, how silly is that now looking back? But I'll cop to it. There's a process. Jihad it, and he had combat boots, and he was shredded. He had a six-pack. He was built with his ears popping off his mask. And, eventually he evolved into where he evolved with a gut, with a big fat American flag. And even, he had a full black costume. It was all black with pink gloves, believe it or not, guys, and a pink mask and a small American flag belt buckle with a thinner belt. That didn't work. And then eventually the eureka moment happened. I said, pigskin leather to exploit their pigotry. Boom. That was a big moment. And I might have even yes, perfect. I love the color. It also connects him with his creator, Killian, who has like a reddish, rust-looking hair, and the pigskin has that same color. So there's also a connection between the two characters there, especially for certain covers where they're on the same cover. You can see it's a similar, look. And again, guys, let me break it down. It's September with the S, 11. Like the ribbon, like ribbons that commemorate things that, or for terrible things, cancer, and whatnot, right? Ribbons for deaths of certain things. So in that sense, that's what I was thinking. But a blood red ribbon that goes here like an S, September 11th. And the two white, instead of gray, I wanted it bright white. I wanted something a little more dramatic with red and white, red, white, and black. And September 11th. And also, again, 9, 11, 9, 11, and then 93, those two dents there. It's like two dents, to make a 3 there. The Flight 93, where the Todd Beamer and the heroes took down that flight that was supposed to go into the Capitol. I know people today pretend it didn't happen. It did. I can't stand those people. I really can't. They believe in so much bullshit, and then they don't believe in things that actually did happen. So September 11, 9/11, and also 93. Again, for the Flight 93, and also for 1993, the first attack on the Twin Towers by Muslims, who they tried to bring down the towers, kill 100,000. That was their goal. That was their dream. And then just the S, the classic Super S that Superman, began. And then of course a dollar sign, with the two lines with the S, dollar sign. He's a capitalist pig, because he's a capitalist pig. And so here's the first shot, guys. If you didn't know, of Pigman in the comic, you see him in silhouette. You see a suggestion of the American flag, but you see the symbol. You don't see his eyes or anything else there. Then you start to see his eyes. Then you see the American flag. And then you see not only his eyes, American flag, but then you get to see, 1 second, guys, his snout. You get to see his snout. And then here, you get even closer shot. And he's not clear and sharp until he turns around and looks at Osama bin Laden and says, "You," because he went through all of the rats. And then he got to the king rat. And it's interesting also, guys, when this issue came out, 2011, early to 2011, right after I was on the Daily Show, by the way. It happened before our soldiers took out Osama bin Laden. So he was taken out in my comic, before he was taken out in real life. And I remember reading a while after that Biden wasn't for it. He was against it. Piece of shit Ron Paul was against it. While he also called our soldiers, our soldiers who got killed, lived by the sword, died by the sword, right? And when you ask about bin Laden, we shouldn't have killed him. It's like, so you only have that standard for our guys, but not for terrorists? You piece of shit. And I will challenge anyone on here who says Ron Paul's a piece of shit. He is. He's a libertarian piece of shit. And he's even trashing Trump now. Trump, he wants war now. He said he wouldn't. We're talking about he wants war. Our enemies want war. The dummy Tucker Carlson calling us out for wanting war with Iran. Iran says death to America for last 40 years. What do you mean? We want war. They want war. They want to wipe us out. What are you talking about? Why are you a mouthpiece for our enemies anyway? Piece of shit. Anyway, I can go on about that, guys, but let me talk a little more about this, and let me check out your comments here. Get some beers. Get some beers in you, Bosch, and get that tattoo. Woo! Woo! LOL. If I drink beer, I drink Guinness. I really enjoy that. I used to have my Camel cigarettes and my Guinness, but I haven't smoked in a long time. And I still drink every so often, just not often. Sometimes months go by. If there's an event that I go to, definitely have some red wine, have some dark beer, Guinness, but that's about it. It's red wine or dark beer, and not often. What is your happy sunrise? What does your reading schedule look like every day? Whenever I have time, every day. Whether it's articles, whether it's novels, whether it's nonfiction, whether it's comics, whether it's old comics, which is what I'm reading now. Happy Sunrise, because I'm relegated now to just reading the old comics. Now, I did read Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, and I did enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to issue 2. an old Matt Murdock. I don't want to say more, but McNiven draws it, and Shane hit it out of the park when he said it's really him trying to do um, Frank Miller's Electra Lives graphic novel. 100%. It looks like it's from that. The line work, the way he draws it, the layouts, it's good stuff, but clearly influenced by Miller to the point of, maybe too much influence. Um, Whereas, for myself, I'm not really discussed like that in terms of you try and draw just like Alex Toth. I never ever have tried to draw just like Alex Toth ever. I never try to draw like Frank Miller. I never try to draw like John Romita Jr. I'm influenced by his guys 100%, but I'm not out there, trying to okay, what would they? I don't do that. It's just not my thing. I love those guys. I think they're the greatest. But I am my own man. I am my own artist, and influence is there. It's just not obvious to me. You know, others could see it. Cool, that's fine. But I'm not seeking it out. I'm not doing it because of that. Um, Al Channel says, "Genius, Bosch. Can't wait to read it." Thank you very much, Al Channel. This is, to me was the natural response to 9/11. And okay, let me just say something also here. We're not just talking about 9/11. That was the spark. Ever since then, over 300,000 people have been murdered in the name of Islam since 9/11. I've drawn Muhammad 700 times since 2005 after the Danish Muhammad cartoon. So it's an ongoing thing, but that's the inciting incident of the story. That's why I bring it up. But I've been doing this for years. I mean, I left Islam. I'm considered an apostate. Alone for leaving Islam, I'm to be killed. Much less, criticizing Islam and drawing Muhammad and writing and drawing Pigman, writing and drawing against, and also articles against Islam. So, but that's just to me the most devastating and most world historical thing that they should have paid a massive price for, and they haven't. The Islamic enemy is still alive and well. That should never have been the case ever. They should have been pummeled out of existence, as Pigman wants to do. The world in Pigman is not our world. Pigman takes out entire terrorist groups, and they do not get reconstituted. Those groups, they're done. They've been obliterated by Pigman, and he's doing that, and he's going after the mullahs in Iran and the sheikhs in Saudi Arabia. He's not just focused on the jihadists on the battlefield. He's going after the money men in Qatar, in Dubai. He goes in this one guy's house. The guy is with his baby. He takes a baby, takes a guy, breaks his neck, and takes the baby to be cared for to some people that he knows are good people. So things like that. I mean, and for some people that's too extreme. I got an email from someone who liked my work, but who said, "That's just too much, man. That's just too much." It's like I'm like, these are harsh times. That Pigman lives in a very dark world with savages who will do anything. They will go into schools and bomb them. They will. I can't even say what they'll do. If you guys remember the Beslan massacre in Russia, 2005, one of the most horrific attacks ever in the history of our world. I mean, ever in history, and what they did to those children and to their parents, unthinkable. And there are elements of that I bring into Frank Warner's Pigman's world when he's a boy, when his first encounter with jihad, what he goes through, the kind of trauma that it. And again, I don't play up the trauma. Today trauma is thrown out like candy. Trauma. Not everything's a trauma. Okay, I'm not going there. I'm talking about absolute objective trauma to the point where you can get fucked up if you're not careful. And what he did was he became an expert on Islam and jihad and wrote against it for years, Frank Warner, Pigman. But it was 9/11 that just made him say, you know what, I'll still continue my work on writing against Islam and jihad. But when Bush said Islam means peace, he just crippled our war effort. So he figured, okay, I'm going to go after this enemy. I'm going to take the war into my own hands. And then on the other side, you got his longtime friend, like a brother, Dr. Muhammad, who ends up being super jihad. He goes the opposite, direction, as do the brothers in the story. It's a double stories, dualism, twin towers, twin brothers, twin stories. That's the whole thing. I mean, it's not by accident that these things are in doubles. Jimmy the lumberjack says, just because you have the ability to write does not mean you will write well. 100%. Same goes for cooking. Just because you can make a dinner for four does not make you a professional chef. For sure, no doubt about it. And even those who can write, technically speaking, right? You're right. They produce shit most of the time. It's like, okay, I guess you're a professional writer. I guess you're getting paid for this, but god damn it, nothing came out of that. You know, comic book writers, in general, it's like, damn, you guys didn't bring it. There's nothing memorable about this. There's I got all these hardcovers of these books that are absolutely worth rereading. That's the only ones. Whenever I make my move, I moved over the years. I always ask myself when I move, I look at all my books and say, okay, will you reread this again? And the answer is clearly no. Boom. Give it to some kind of place or throw it out. That's a question I ask. Are you going to reread it again? No. And that's why, every time I move is stacks of books, that just go by the wayside, stacks. But I still have a nice, healthy amount here. It's talking about tattoos and drinking. Funny. Jimmy the lumberjack, favorite sport to watch if you have the time? I love basketball. Love basketball. Cannot stand the NBA. Cannot stand LeBron James. He's a piece of shit. Flopping whore. My God, that's all he does. He's a guy who he's never ever going to surpass Michael Jordan. It's impossible. So he figures stats. I can rack up my stats. I have more points, more of this than Jordan. Big shit. So what? Jordan was about the peak of his powers. LeBron's past that peak, and he just wants to stat pad. But the sport itself is beautiful. You have to be in shape to play basketball. You know what I mean? It's like soccer. You got to be in shape. Football, baseball, golf, not really. You can have a big gut. Basketball is an incredible sport. When there's hardcore competition, it's incredible to watch. Back in the 90s, with Jordan, incredible. He was a gift. He was a gift. You watch him and, you get choked up, at least I did. I'm watching greatness happen here. And it's beautiful to watch him play. He's like an artist. I mean, he was like an artist. The way he moved, the killer instinct that he had, the no-lose mentality. Once he won, once he was on top, he stayed there. He never lost in the finals. LeBron lost 6 times in the finals. That alone discounts him as the GOAT. I mean, he got there 10 times. Good for him. He won 4 times. He lost 6 times. Jordan went, he went to the finals for 6 times, and he won every single time. It was never close. They always won. It was never got to a game 7 when Jordan was there. Yes, it's a team sport. Yes. You take Jordan out, though, please. It's like, yeah, but Jordan, the Bulls went to almost the finals when he was gone. Yeah, almost the finals, but they didn't go to finals. They got to almost the finals? What does that mean? Basketball, if I'm going to watch a sport, that's the one. Football is just too choppy. I'll watch the Super Bowl. That's the only game I really watch. It's just too choppy. It's too... it's over. The action's over within seconds. Like, okay. Basketball, you can go back and forth for a while. And again, you got to be able to be in shape. You got to be shredded. You really do. Baseball, I can't do it. I just can't. To me, it's not a spectator sport. It's a sport that I would like to play, that I used to like to play. But to watch it, I can't. I just can't. Golf, impossible to watch. I've never played it either. I don't want to I have some people who want me to go, and I absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't want to start it. I have an addictive personality to that extent. I might be like caught up in it. I know. I keep my addictions to my work, to reading, to writing, to movies, to comics, and that's about it. Um, but thanks for asking. Uh, I can go on about basketball, but the last time I watched basketball a few years ago, because after 2020, it was 2020 summer. I start the new season off, the first game, right? And at the commercial break, it was a goddamn commercial. Racism is everywhere. It was linked to the NBA. I said, "Fuck it, I'm out. I'm out. That's it. I'm out. Enough. 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 Stop pretending that we're a racist country. We're not. Stop pretending. There's racism, yes. A racist country, absolutely not. The only racism really we have is the Democrat Party shoving it down our throats and being racist against whites. The only systemic racism, if there is to be one, is against whites. It's not against blacks. I mean, there's black privilege. It exists. It's real. Now that's a little going by the wayside. People are sick of it, so good. But I did tune in for Kawhi Leonard, who's a great player when he's healthy, and people trash him. It's like he can't help it. I mean, he doesn't want to be hurt, but when he's healthy, he brings a little something of Jordan. His quote unquote, he's a two-way player. I can't stand that. Jordan was a two-way player. Then McCall, meaning he does his job. Meaning when he's on defense, he plays defense. When he's on offense, he plays offense. That's what that means. Meaning he's a basketball player. But defense is so bad in the NBA today that if someone plays defense, you're like, whoa, that's special. It's like you should play defense, dummy. But anyway, the guy's a great player. More or less the same size, like Jordan. He has big hands, like Jordan. And he has an intensity about him when he's on there. He's really good. LeBron, I can't stand him. I can't stand him. Ugh, whining like a bitch, leaving Cleveland, going to Miami to try to lord it over, to try to bully his way into rings, with another champion and so on. You could never see Michael Jordan teaming up with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. Hey guys, let's get together. Impossible. They want to beat them. They don't want to be with them. Mikey Getz says Islam acts like the fucking mafia as religion. It does. And there is the also the idea about omerta, keep it quiet. Don't discuss what we do. Don't discuss this thing of ours, to those who are not part of it. There's that also, the omerta. That's in Islam. It's taqiyya, kitman. That's their version. Do not let outsiders know about what Islam's up to. Alpha Channel says, LOL, I found the article in the Comicsgate thread. It was from Rob Liefeld referencing Sal. If you could fill me in on that, Alpha Channel, and now I'm a little intrigued here, because first of all, I can't stand Rob Liefeld as a personality, as an artist. I mean, he's not an artist, first of all. He's horrific. If the industry was stuck with Rob Liefeld, it's dead, completely dead. You need John Buscema's and Toth and Ramitas and all these guys to hold up the industry for chumps and punks like Rob Liefeld to come in there without learning how to draw and living off it like a parasite. But I'm curious what you say here in terms of he was referencing Sal Buscema. Why would Rob Liefeld reference Sal Buscema? And he couldn't have been talking about him in terms of like storytelling, because he's not a storyteller, Rob Liefeld, at all. I know there's a soft spot for him from some of the guys on Kings, but I can't stand him. I think it was Rob Liefeld and the horrifically soulless editors who brought him in, who collapsed the standards of comic book art, collapsed them to the point where we're still suffering from that. Where shit artists are going on there and getting work. Unacceptable. Should never have happened. And was, if Jim Shooter was still there, it would never have happened, ever. He would have, whipped at least Rob Liefeld into shape by saying, if there's anything here, it's quote unquote energy. But as I always say to anyone who cites energy, Rob Liefeld, yeah. I said, of course, there's quote unquote energy in his art because he'd used no energy to learn how to draw. That's why there's quote unquote energy there. But again, I can go back and forth with even John and maybe Shanth, McFarlane also. Now, McFarlane to me is better than Rob Liefeld, clearly better. But I couldn't stand his Spider-Man. I did like his Hulk, though. I did like his Hulk a lot. Um, but, in terms of all-time greats, no way. I mean, no way. You got too many great, artists out there, from, of course, Toth to John Buscema to John Romita, all-time greats. Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, um, who built this industry. Without them, we don't have shit. Um, Hello out there says the truth ain't always pretty. That's for sure, but it's welcome. It is definitely welcome. Ha! Religion of peace, my ass. Indeed. Hello out there. That's the biggest lie told, I think, arguably ever. That's not exaggeration. It is the religion of war, the religion of death, the religion of rape and murder and horrific law. The crime of Sharia law. It's organized crime, is what it is. Boombots. I hope you don't mind, but I love saying it. Boombots says 70 Catholics beheaded in Africa just 2 months ago. My God, the media was silent. What would the media have done if it was the other way around? I know. Yep. Christians are being wiped out. Jews being wiped out. Even lax Muslims are being wiped out. Horrific. John Borton. Hey, John. Pigman is going to be great. I can't wait. Thanks, John. Much appreciated. You've been, very, very kind about that. Thank you very much, man. Hello out there has a basketball. Yeah, it's just I love the sport. I shoot around myself. I love it. It's such a fun sport. And watching it as a spectator, I saw Michael Jordan play in 1998. I was in the third row. I screamed out his name, and he actually looked back. I was so loud, and he looked back. It wasn't, I think, in the middle of action. It was maybe some kind of free throw or something. And it was incredible. It was his last year with the Bulls. The guy is, I have him here, guys. If you see that, it's a drawing I did of him. It's up there. You might be able to see it here a little more. Let me just pull this here, right there. And it was made with oil-based colored pencils, India ink, white paint, and I think that was it. And the pencils were so beautiful; it looked like paint. And that's a canvas version of it. He was the standard. He was the standard, and he had class and style, and brutality. He was a competitor to the core. He had a fire in him that you don't see in many players, most players. It was life or death to him to win. That was his life, and he's gonna, lay it all on the floor. I don't think Jordan has any regrets whatsoever. Other players do, that's for sure. Jordan, absolutely not. Gave it his all. If he didn't retire the first time, who knows? He could have had 8 rings. But he gave his all. He's a master. Mikey Getz says, I only tip FMC because they support Pigman. Well, thank you. They deserve our support. I mean, again, they've been great. I have 0 complaints about them. 0. Every time I need a whatever, very, very cool. Luke's great. So, hello out there. It says, I saw him playing at the Greensboro Coliseum because the Chapel Hill Stadium was being renovated. Wow. That's awesome. That is awesome. The guy, what a legend. Michael Jordan, what a legend. Incredible. That's awesome. Hello out there. Jimmy says, NBA today is basically unwatchable. It is. Both teams are scoring over 110 points each. No defense at all. Disgusting. It only gets a little serious in the playoffs. That's why if I'm going to watch anything, it'll be maybe some fourth quarters in the playoffs. Now, I like guys like, what's his name? The Joker for Denver. And also, Kawhi Leonard. I watched Luka Doncic, if that's how you pronounce it. But I can't stand LeBron, so I can't probably watch that. LeBron's such a phony. Also, he's such a phony. Flopping like, and he tried to argue again that it doesn't flop. Of course you do, idiot. It's on camera. Everyone knows it for years. And he's a fake phony fraud. Also, there's something dirty about him. He didn't go to also the commemoration for Kobe when he died. He wasn't there, and to this day, they try to claim he was. He wasn't there. Jordan was there. Michael Jordan revealed that him and Kobe were friends for years. We can assume that, but I didn't know that. Most people didn't know that. Why? Because they didn't talk about it. It's a private friendship. And Jordan's up there talking about his friend, and he's just streaming down his eyes, tears. And he's trying to control himself. He goes, I know this is going to become a meme now again, like the crying Jordan type thing. And he was genuine about it, genuine. And you don't see Jordan out there, no, not doing interviews, nothing. The closest we got was him being interviewed for the Last Dance, which if you haven't seen, even if you don't like basketball, to be blunt, watch it, guys. It's a fascinating movie series, somewhat documentary, but it's controlled as in all the major players are interviewed, so it's not that much critical, even though it's honest. They showed Jordan getting on his teammates and stuff, and Jordan was a little concerned that he'd come off like an asshole. I got no problem with that, and even his teammates were like, yeah, he was an asshole. It's like, really, you're gonna say that about a guy who brought you your rings and fame? You wouldn't be on TV, you wouldn't be on anything without him. I don't know. I just think he said and did whatever he had to win, and he carried these guys on his shoulders and went. That's it. That's it. And you got a madman like Rodman, still to this day talking about Jordan as if it's his idol. It's fascinating to see because he's such the guy is built to not submit to anything, clearly, right, to any standards. But even he's like, well, Michael's the greatest. I mean, that's it. He's like a fanboy when he talks about him, which is pretty amazing. And then you got Scottie Pippen, who's another story, a great second wingman. Period. He's become like a crackhead, talking shit about Jordan now. He's saying Jordan was horrible before he got there. It's like, what? That's embarrassing. Jordan averaged 37 points one year and was a defense player of the year. That's unheard of today. He was the offensive player, quote unquote, and the defense player the same year. Who does that? I don't think anyone's ever done that. The closest maybe could have been Will Chamberlain, maybe. LeBron never got that defense player of the year because he's not a great defender. Now, again, Kawhi Leonard is a great defender, and he averages, when he's on at top of his game, 30 points. This is interesting. We got into a basketball conversation here, but I love the game. I hate the actual NBA. I can't stand it. I can't stand what they push. I can't stand Adam Silver, that piece of shit. My God, he looks like death. He has bent over for the players. What do you guys want? I'll do it. Okay. No. You're the commissioner. You're in charge. You tell them what's what. That's it. You're supposed to direct them. You're supposed to lead them. They're just players. That's all they know, basketball. And they get paid millions to do it. They're not here to dictate what's what, you dummy. A man called Plush says, LeBron showed who he is when he said every black person lives in fear. That was disgusting and a complete fat lie. Complete lie. He knows that. Everyone knows that. Complete lie. That's media spin. That's leftists. We live every day our lives. We always interact with all kinds of races. We got no problems in general. We don't. The media tries to create this idea that America is fundamentally, systemically racist. It's a complete lie. Complete lie. There is a manufactured racism against whites. Now, some of them believe it, but I believe it's also manufactured. And the Democrat Party, guys, they came from the KKK to BLM. It's the same party. They were racist then, they're racist now, but they're like, it was more popular to be against blacks then. Now it's more popular to be against whites. So let's just switch it and cash in on that hate, on that manufactured hate, and they have to stoke it with lies. Um, Man Called Plus continues. Race grifter and race gatekeeper went to Diddy parties. He did. He did. There ain't no party like a Diddy party, is what he said. All right, LeBron. Why is the media so incurious about saying, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, LeBron? Elaborate. That guy's in prison now. He's probably going to be in prison for the rest of his life. What do you mean by there's no party like a Diddy party? We'd like to know. Please tell us. Inform us. Piece of crap. Daniel Levin. Hey, I hate LeBron too. Oh my God, he's so ungrateful, and I'm a Lakers fan. Kyrie Irving is amazing, but dumb piece of shit, racist he is. He's a great player. I, I appreciate that, Daniel, because again, I can say about Jeff Bezos, he's an incredible entrepreneur and a piece of shit politically. And people are like, it's like, what do you mean? That's a fact. Kyrie Irving is a great basketball player, and when he's healthy, when he's motivated, his handle is incredible. And he's also a piece of shit racist, and he's a dummy, and he's a Muslim now, and all that garbage. Really stupid. It was what the garbage WNBA did to Caitlin Clark is so hateful and wrong as well. It is, but that's stupid. You know, she's so stupid. She's now talking about white privilege and stuff. It's like, shut up, Caitlin. Shut up. Enough of this stuff. Enough of this crap. You know, so bad. So bad. But let me just get a few more comments here, and then I want to do one last pitch, and then I'm going to get going. Daniel Levin, we're not a race country. We are not. We have the stain of slavery, as all countries do, as most countries do. This is the idea also that everyone had a slave. So it was a small minority of us that had slaves in America, a small minority. Those who could afford it, who could feed them, who could this. It's a horrific thing, yes. And how about the black slave trade? How about the blacks who sold the slaves to whites? They get nothing for that? How about 2025 slavery today in Africa? How about Muslims having black slaves today? How about that? Sickening. Absolutely. It's infuriating to hear this shit about our great country. We had our flaws, absolutely, 100%, no doubt about it. I mean, from where we were to where we are, guys, it's a revolutionary country that we live in. Revolutionary. And people will bitch and moan till their heart's content, but they can make it here like they can make it nowhere. This is the place for them, for anyone, all races. It's a complete lie. Amoral Fat 40 ounce. Hey, Malin's godlike is a little convoluted. I took notes to keep track of what was happening, and it's not nearly as complicated as he needed it to be. The story is actually simple once reorganized in notes. Yeah, I got it here. I backed Godlike too, so I will definitely check that out. I'm reading, I guess right now I'm with Shane's first Inglorious Rex. And after that, probably Godlike. I read, I already read Cyberfrog, both of them. I read the Chanu. I'm reading, Shane's, and I got Leprestes, and I have other ones too. So I'm looking forward to it. And they're all good. I mean, the quality's top solid. You know, my favorite something over other in certain aspects. But Alpha Channel said, I tagged you in the replies, but the article was great, explaining why the Marvel method worked. Okay. Thank you. So this is a post by Rob Liefeld about why the Marvel method worked? Okay. Good. So it's Sal Buscema talking about it. Good, because if Rob wrote it, it doesn't make sense because he's not a good artist. He's not a good storyteller at all. So at least there's that. Thanks, Alpha Channel. I'll check it out. Copy. Okay. So Sal wrote an article on this. Interesting. I've not known him to do that. He's been an inker for a number of years now. I think he's probably retired. He might still be inking Ron Friends, maybe. Daniel Levin says, Liefeld and feet. Oh my God, is that hard? Yeah, it's way beyond feet, but man, he's just, again, that's when the standards collapsed. Any shithead came into comics at that point. You're like, okay, he draws like Rob Liefeld. It's like, yeah, you got to keep him out. What do you mean? It's horrific. My guess is I need LOL. I need a John versus Bosch debate on Liefeld. I know these guys have a soft spot for them. I believe it truly is a soft spot, meaning they can't separate nostalgia from reality. They liked him when they were young, and they're stuck on it, Whereas I hated a lot Robert Liefeld back then. I hated McFarlane's his Spider-Man, even though, Spring Ball looks great. It looks fun. Looks like there's something going on there, something brewing. And by Shanth. So, inspired by that, fine, but it looks fantastic. And it looks far more, the detail there is actually real, meaning you see the buildings, you see the windows, everything looks proper, unlike the busy work of scratchy lines to make it appear like it's detailed. No way. Jimmy Lumberjack says, nice, Jordan drawn, looks great. Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, it's he's a hero of mine. I mean, he's a guy who he inspires. I mean, he inspires. He definitely does. Not for me to play basketball, but in my own work, to try to push and push and push to be better. Warzard the Board Time Lord says, any thoughts on Timothy Truman? I wish I had discovered him earlier in my comic reading. Timothy Truman. Was he the writer or one of the artists? I don't know enough. Rick Veitch, maybe? Did he work with him? Or was he the pirate-looking guy? Joe Kubert-looking art. Is that what you're talking about? I don't know enough. I know he had with a wolf, like a pirate-looking guy with a wolf or a dog that looked like Joe Kubert style. If you could just elaborate on that, Warzard, thanks. Daniel Levin, Kobe was great. He didn't put up with the progressive lefty BS. He didn't. Kobe had his flaws too. He cheated on his wife with that terrible thing that happened in Colorado. But, I think he was Me Too'd. I do. I think he engaged in it. He shouldn't have. He's a married guy. But I think the media never forgave him for that, and they didn't give him any more than just one of the MVPs, which he deserved more. Check out this channel, Scap Attack, guys. Jay Skapanek, I think. He's great. It's funny, I'll watch his channel instead of watch the games. I'll watch Dreamers Pro, even though you guys always, axed. It's like, come on, man, you know better than that. Just don't say axed. Say asked. Don't do that. And also don't go every moment. And on top of that, also don't say, essentially what he said was, no. He said that. He didn't essentially say it. He actually said that. You're quoting him. He didn't essentially say that. There's this crutch words that people use, and I gotta say, when it happens too much, I get a little annoyed. I might do it myself, guys, and let me know, please, because I want to stop. Jordan punched Steve Kerr. He did. That punk deserved it too, Hilarious. He's such a piece of shit, Kerr. My God, such a leftist whore. Always signaling to the left. Huh? I'm good, right? Okay, good. DJ Grape Mix says, Ethan just started Trashcast. All right. I will definitely check it out myself after I get off. Warzar, the Board Time Lord, said, Pippen never really was there in the playoffs. Jordan still had to be superhuman all the time. He did. And Pippen was always hit or miss. A great game, shit game, back and forth, always. And then he reminds you, this guy could be great. And then, okay, he sucked. So he's just a bitter guy. He's lucky he was with Jordan. Lucky. And, they say, well, he was one of the greatest defenders. Why do you think? In practice, who did he guard, guys? Come on. Who did he guard? Come on. Of course he was a great defender. He had to be. He was forced to be. Egon the Dragoncock says, hey, Egon. Um, Jordan got to the level he got by pure force of will. LeBron could never do that. 100%. Jordan, it's so funny with Jordan also. He's not a natural, he was the tallest Jordan ever was in his family. His father was 5'10". No one around him was tall. He was 6 feet 6'6", you know, and he was a latecomer also in that. Strange. Ends up being the greatest of all time. And to me, it's indisputable. I mean, you look at what he was able to do. Um, taking on the Pistons, getting his ass kicked, getting stronger, and dealing with it, and staying with his team, not demanding a trade, not trying to team up with some other guys who won championships like LeBron did, on his own. Eon Drancock says Jordan respected strength. LeBron needs coddling. Jordan did respect the strength. He respected guys who went at him hard too. He was like, all right, because he made him have to step up. Kobe, for instance, a young punk trying to get on Jordan, and also showing him also the respect and asking him advice and questions at the free throw line. When someone's shooting, asking him about things, tips, and him giving it back to him. It's unbelievable. Kobe was determined. Kobe understood also. I'm about his size, right? 6'6". His hands were not as big as Jordan's. Jordan had humongous hands for his size, but he had the will. He had a little less than Jordan had, but he had the will, and he got to the finals 7 times. He lost twice, so he won 5, but he was the closest in terms of determination, in terms of drive. Competition. He was a hungry guy. And Jordan only fueled it because he understood that that's the guy I got to match. I have to be. And he was also had he was not humble. Kobe was not. I would never accuse him or Jordan being humble. I hate fake humble. I really can't say that. I can't do that. I'm not fake humble. But Kobe honestly said when he was asked, "Yo, man, you could take Jordan." He goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Without him, there is no me." He understood. Without Michael doing his thing, I wouldn't have done my thing to the extent that I did. Jordan propelled him to be better, to be greater. The standard was there, and you had to go to try to match it. And he almost did, It's awesome. Gray Cloudy Day says, "Hey, Gray Cloudy Day. Timothy Truman is awesome. I just hate that it has been so long for Scout Marauder. Still waiting. Is that what it is? The Scout Marauder? It's like a pirate-looking guy with a dog? I might have to check it out, guys, because I know it was always on the periphery. I remember seeing it, and he looked a little like Joe Kubert style. Boombots says, my full name is Frankie Boombots, which is even more fun to say. Frankie Boombots. Love it. Love it. Gray Cloud Day says, Scout and Grimjack. Boom. Okay. I must have read those years ago. I know I read everything I get my hands on. I just probably don't have them though. But okay. Thanks, Gray Cloud Day. I will definitely check it out. I remember Grimjack for sure. Scout, I think with a dog, I think. Interesting. Okay. Daniel Levin says, do you see Hulk eloquently yell at Saber about the Pally Kid? It? Was that in the comic? Was that with the Wendigo? And she was there with the Salbacine one, if I remember correctly. Huh. I'm trying to remember. Mike Getz says LMAO. That made me think of Taser Man. Fake humility, bro. Ugh, yeah. He was telling me about the fake humility. It's like, no, I was very happy that I was able to get, before I got to Ethan's channel that day, I gave Ethan $100, super chat. Of course, guys, I have some advertising money. If I can get on the show, if I can promote it, please. I can't find places to advertise because they won't let me advertise on them. So if I'm going to do a super chat, good. And I've been called out for that ever since. Like, so what? I don't care. I might as well just spend it there. And by the time I got to Ethan's show on my launch day, I was able to get $4,000, which, I was very pleased with on my own, and then I went to Ethan's, shot up to 5,000. Now I'm up to 17. I'm very pleased with this, guys. Very pleased. I want more, but hey, the steady, 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 keep marching on, keep marching on. Um, Alpha Channel says, thanks again, Bosch. Love your streams. Thanks, Alpha Channel. Appreciate it. Daniel Levin, thanks, man. Guys, take care. Be well. Mike again says, EVS will let you on, Bosch. You don't have to super chat. You're CG. I know. It was just that one day. It was my launch day, and I wanted to do it on my own, And I was like, no, sorry, I didn't want to do it. I wanted to do it on one of the King shows. I definitely did. So I say, you know what? Let me throw it out there, get on, and promote it. And Ethan should get paid for some promotion. He really should, guys. He spends hours. I mean, he spends hours on those auction streams. He spends hours on these other streams to promote. The guy deserves a thank you. And the way I can thank you is by, a super chat. It really is. He deserves it. He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to. So I appreciate it, Mikey, but I think the guy deserves it. I think it's a good thing. Anyway, if you're still here, guys, you're probably moving on to Ethan's. I'm gonna definitely join you guys, but check out PIGMAN, guys. Check it out. Back it up. I would really, really appreciate your support. Very much so. There's an enemy in our world that has to be taken on culturally, and this is part of that. My comic book is part of that, because eventually we have to take it on in the culture war. We have to. We've allowed our soldiers to get the brunt of it, our pathetic politicians, and our culture have allowed our soldiers to just, no, we have to back them up by telling the truth in books, in novels, in comics, and so on, in movies. We have to back them up so they can do their job, so they get the moral support. And we can get also to understand that this is a fight worth having to end this threat. So that's why, this comic is what it is. But at the same time, guys, no matter what, no matter how activist I want to get about it, it's a comic book. It's a story. So I have to make it entertaining, engaging as I can, and a good story. So that's what I've done with this. Try to make it as good as I possibly can. It's 5 different covers, guys. Got a 9-page preview. Check it out. I really appreciate your support, and thank you very much. Guys, take care. Be well. Good night, Daniel. Have a good night, Miss Froston. Have a good night, Mr. Levin. Thank you very much. You guys take care. Be well. Until next time. Thank you. Appreciate it.